Hi, I'm Aishwarya Venkatesh. I hope you all would be clear with the election process for Rajya Sabha members. In this video, let's look into presidential elections in detail. The president is elected by an electoral college. Electoral college consists of elected members of both houses of the parliament and elected members of all the legislative assemblies of all states and two union territories, that is Delhi and Puducherry, which has legislature. The president serves for a term of 5 years from the date of entering his office. The election process for the president is held by means of single transferable vote system, like how it is held for the election of Rajya Sabha members. Usually, what will be the value of one vote? It's one, right? But we saw that the value of one vote in the election process for Rajya Sabha members is 100. Now, the value of vote for presidential elections is found using an interesting method. Who are all electing the president? MLAs and MPs, right? The value of vote of MLAs and MPs will differ. First, let me find the value of vote of MLAs. The value of vote of MLAs differ from state to state. Let me consider Tamil Nadu as an example. To find the value of vote of one MLA in Tamil Nadu, I need the total number of MLAs in Tamil Nadu, which is 234. And the population of Tamil Nadu as per 1971 census, which is equal to 4 crore 11 lakh 99,168. Now, the value of vote of one MLA in Tamil Nadu is equal to the population of Tamil Nadu as per 1971 census divided by total number of MLAs in Tamil Nadu into 1000, which is 176. Then, what is the value of vote of all the MLAs in Tamil Nadu? It is 176 into 234, which is 41,184. The same has to be done for all the states and two union territories, that is Delhi and Puducherry. The total number of MLAs in our country is 4,120. The value of votes of these 4,120 MLAs adds up to 5,49,495. Now, secondly, let's come to MPs. Let's find out the value of votes of all the MPs, that is, members of both houses of the parliament. Value of vote of one MP is equal to total value of all MLA votes divided by total number of MPs, which is 5,49,495. That is the value of all MLA votes divided by 543 MPs. That is the total number of MPs in Lok Sabha plus 233 MPs. That is the total number of MPs in Rajya Sabha, which is equal to 708. Therefore, the value of vote of all MPs would be 708 into 776. This 776 is the total number of MPs of both houses of the parliament. So, the value of vote of all MPs would be 5,49,408. Therefore, the total value of votes of 4,896 electors, that is 776 MPs plus 4,120 MLAs, is 5,49,495 plus 5,49,408, that is 10,98,903. So finally, the total number of votes in the electoral college is 10,98,903 votes. Let's come to the second concept, quota. The number of votes that any candidate should get to win the elections is called as quota. The formula that we use for quota is very simple. It just represents the simple majority, 50% plus 1. Quota is equal to total votes of electoral college divided by number of seats to be filled plus 1. the whole plus 1, which is 10,98,903 divided by 1 plus 1, the whole plus 1. That's nothing but 50% of the whole votes plus 1. So the final answer is 5,49,452.
In the 2017 presidential election, Ram Nath Kovind won 7,02,044 votes, which is more than the quota of 5,49,452 votes. Thus, Ram Nath Kovind clearly won the election and became the president.
From such an election process, it is clear that the presidential candidate who is backed by the party ruling most number of states and having most number of MPs in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha will become the president. I am saying this because according to my knowledge, party whips are followed in practice. Let me take an example to show the presidential election process. As 10,98,903 votes in the electoral college is little confusing. It's a big number, right? So it's a little confusing. So I'm assuming that the total number of votes in electoral college is 20,000. It's just an assumption for showing the election process easily. So this 20,000 is just an assumption. Okay, now coming to the next part. What is the quota? It is 20,000 divided by 1. 1 is the number of seats to be filled plus 1. The whole plus 1, which is 10,001. Any candidate who gets more than or equal to 10,001 votes would become the president. If there are only 2 candidates, then the election process becomes easy, as any one of them will surely win the majority. And then the single transferable vote system cannot be explained clearly to you. So I'm assuming that there are 4 candidates, namely Subha, Shiva, Ram and Rekha. The votes given by the Electoral College of 20,000 is as follows. 3,000 voters have chosen Subha as their first preference and Rekha as their second preference. 4,000 voters have chosen Subha as their first preference and Ram as their second preference, and similarly it goes on. So if someone hadn't seen my first part of the video, that is the election process for Rajya Sabha members, then this preferences would be confusing. It is nothing but any voter can give preferences, that is ranking to these candidates. In this, the first preference is compulsory and the other preferences are optional. That is the difference between normal voting system and the single transferable vote system. Let's check out the first preferences of the 4 candidates. It is 7,000 votes to Subha, 4,000 votes to Rekha, 5,500 votes to Shiva, 3,500 votes to Ram. None of the candidates have reached the quota. That is, they haven't reached 10,001 votes. Thus, the candidate who has secured the lowest number of votes should be eliminated, and those votes shall be transferred to the second preferences. Here, Ram has secured 3,500 votes, that is the lowest number of votes. So he shall be eliminated and those 3,500 votes shall be distributed to the second preference of these 3,500 voters. What were the second preference of these 3,500 voters? Out of those 3,500 voters, 3,000 voters have chosen Rekha as their second preference and 500 voters have chosen Shiva as their second preference. Thus, the transfer shall be done in the following manner. 3,000 votes transferred to Rekha and 500 votes transferred to Shiva. The new number of votes are 7,000 votes to Subha, 7,000 votes to Rekha and 6,000 votes to Shiva. Even now, nobody has reached the quota. 10,001 votes are not reached by anybody. So even now, nobody can be elected as the president. So let's move on to the third preference. Who has secured the lowest number of votes even after the transfer of second preference votes? It is Shiva, who has secured 6,000 votes. These 6,000 votes shall be eliminated and it shall be transferred to the third preference of these 6,000 voters. Out of those 6,000 voters, 500 voters have not chosen any third preference. 1,000 voters have chosen Ram as their third preference. 4,000 voters have chosen Rekha as their third preference. And 500 voters have chosen Rekha as their third preference. These 500 voters are those who have chosen Shiva as their second preference and due to which the votes were transferred to Shiva. Thus, the transfer shall be done in the following manner. 6,000 votes cancelled from Shiva and that is transferred as 4,500 votes to Rekha and 1,000 votes to Ram. Remaining 500 votes would not be transferred to anybody because those 500 voters have not chosen anybody as their third preference. Okay, now finally considering the number of votes after the transfer of third preference votes, Rekha has secured 11,500 votes. That is, Rekha has secured majority. She has reached the quota. Thus, Rekha will be the winner of this presidential elections. In the normal voting system, Subha would have won the elections as she has got the highest number of votes. Subha had secured 7,000 votes in the first preference, so she would have won the elections. But here, in the single transferable vote system, the results are different. That is all about the presidential elections. I hope that was clear enough. Until I meet you with the next video, thank you and bye.